Hi, I'm Wayde Kirvida from CustomFIRE, and behind me is our new pumper demo. This truck is built on a Spartan FC94 chassis. It features a Waterous 1500 GPM fire pump, a 1,000-gallon poly tank, and a rescue pumper style apparatus body. This demo is a second truck that we built on this new model chassis by Spartan. It's called the FC94, stands for fire truck chassis, and the 94 is just the width of the cab, so it's a fire truck chassis 94 inches wide. What you'll notice right away is it has an extended bumper, LED headlights, a unique mesh style chrome grille, heated remote mirrors. Basically, the FC94 is Spartan's approach to more of a commercial chassis. It's a beautiful chassis. I mean, it's based on the MetroStar cab. There's nothing cheapened or no corners cut on this chassis. What it is they restrict the number of options that we can select, and then all the way through manufacturing is a more efficient process because they're having less unique customized attributes that they have to project manage through the whole process. So they're returning the savings, the operational savings essentially to the customer. So with that, I said limited options. Well, what that means is that you only get one door selection. It's the barrier style door. You only get the rubber front fender option. No polished stainless, no polished aluminum, no full door length options. You have one mirror option, it's heated remote. Up above, you can get a brow light on the FC94. In this case, we put a couple 30-inch low pro LED brow lights up there ourselves. As with the Freedom style Wayland light bar, this chassis is under $200,000 and a MetroStar is frequently $250,000 or more. So it's just a wonderful option for fire departments that are looking to make the leap from the commercial chassis world into a more purpose-built chassis. This demo features a pretty cool new side mount control panel for the fire pump. You'll notice that we have color-coded handles. These are the new Innovative Controls pistol grip controllers. They're very easy to operate, and they're spring-loaded so they'll lock into place. And they allow us to retain our stainless steel control rods. We do not use cables if we can avoid them, because cables have proven to be more troublesome than straight push-pull control rods with adjustable clevises. Now, this is a Waterous full-bodied 1500 GPM single-stage fire pump. It's the CSU model, and it has a split shaft transmission like a traditional pumper should have. And on the pump itself, we have gated intakes on each side and on the rear. In this case, they are air-operated butterfly valves. We have a Trident air auto primer, and then we have a pre-prime going to the rear intake. So the auto primer uses chassis air. The power's off right now, so we're not going to get any air through here, but it has a momentary and then a locking rocker switch. So you prime the fire pump with a momentary switch. Now, once you're established prime and you're pumping, you can flip it into the auto mode. What that allows you to do is have the primer kick on automatically if it senses a loss in prime from events such as water source transitions. A great example of when you would use the auto primer is if you're drafting and water shuttle activity creates a swirl at the suction strainer. When you have it in auto mode, it'll momentarily kick on the primer automatically as needed to maintain prime. Also, you'll see that we have rocker switches, which are for the air-operated intakes, and then we have lights which will indicate if the valve is open. And then on the rear intake, because usually that's where you're going to be drafting from on this truck, you can pre-prime that rear intake, so you can draw water in up to the closed butterfly valve and then hold it there until you're ready to switch from your tank to pump valve to the rear intake valve. Down below we have a fairly good sized removable panel which will provide access, in this case, to the foam system and the intake valve. The speed lays on this fire pump are actually behind the pump and ahead of the body, obviously. The beauty of that is that we can tilt the cab, and we have a large removable panel on the front of the pump module, which provides excellent access to the fire pump system. And these speed lays have removable poly trays. You'll notice that they're notched on the bottom because the swivels are underneath. On this speedlay, the swivels on the bottom at the officer side, and then this is the swivel for the upper speedlay. I mentioned earlier that this is a rescue style pumper body, and when you say that, typically what that implies is, you know, more compartmentation than a typical structural fire pumper, and that's certainly the case here. Both sides of the body are full depth compartments. They are 27 inches deep on each side and about 65 inches tall. Each compartment on this truck has some unique layouts. Again, it's a demonstrator. Think of it as a model home for fire trucks. You want to show some innovative features, some creature comforts, some maybe new trends, that sort of thing. And that's certainly the case here. We have a vertical divider allowing adjustable shelving. The forward portion provides access to the electrical system, but more importantly, that's where a little giant can stand up for storage. Now behind that we have our hose roll tray, which has adjustable dividers. And then below that we have a couple pull-out drawers for tools and adapters. These are becoming very common. I'm sure you've noticed them on previous videos, and you're gonna see them again in the future. We make these here at Custom Fire. We have a variety of widths, depths, and heights that we can offer, and they have high capacity roller slide tracks. As you look at this video and see the different features, I want to emphasize that these products are available from Custom Fire for sale. So if you have an older truck or even a truck of a different make, we can certainly furnish you with this equipment. We will need some dimensional information from you if we did not build the truck. If we do, we have it on file, and you just need to tell us where you want it. The wheel well here, obviously we have air bottle compartments, 3 air bottles here, and then over there is 4 enclosed wheel chocks. Up above we have a swing out tool board. Pretty simple design. It's a sandwich of 2 sheets of perforated aluminum, and then also one on the back wall of the compartment. So we have 3 mounting surfaces. It's a pretty high capacity, you know, and it has an air strut which holds it in and out. Now the rear driver's side compartment is pretty basic and fairly empty, but there's still some notable features to point out. We have our adjustable shelf, of course, and we have the laser cut shelf tracks. We also have laser cut holes indexed every inch along those shelf tracks, and the purpose of that is to just secure the shelf against any creep over time. This is a large shelf. You can put a fair amount of weight on it, but if you're just relying on the friction fit of the clamps, it could creep over time. The other nice thing is it just ensures that the shelf is perfectly straight. We have 4 points of contact with the index holes. It's not going to be off by an 1/8 inch here or there. And as with pretty much every truck we build, we have a nice removable access panel for the body lights on the back of the truck. In there also are like the drop outs for the electrical harness, and then up above the roll-up doors are protected. I've actually had customers point those out, the benefit of them, protecting their painted roll-up doors from, you know, just tossing equipment up onto a shelf. But this has turned out to be a great design for us, popular and very well received. It's you got the slide-in ladders under a T of a narrow tank, and then hard suction hose done in a similar fashion. In this case, the hard suction hose sleeve is higher because we have a 6-inch rear intake pipe running below it. You can see how much nicer the ladders are to grab here than up on a ladder rack or up higher through the body or something like that. And having your ladders on beam is always nice. You just throw it over your shoulder. The rest of the rear of the truck, we have scene lighting, of course. We have a backup camera, 2.5 inch rear discharge, and then of course our stainless steel swing out drop down ladder. Now in this case, you know, what's becoming more common as well is walkways at the top of the body, just providing a much safer environment when you're on top of the truck, deploying hose, racking hose, or maybe filling the foam system or something like that. The officer side of this truck is laid out for rescue functionality. In the rear officer side compartment, you'll notice we have 3 tip-out tool pockets for cutter, spreader, and combi tools. We also have a mounting post for a hydraulic ram. And then above that we have a few slots for airbags. And on the back wall we have our tool tab panel that we developed a few years ago here. And over the rear wheels we just have a wide open space. Again, this is a demonstrator, so we're just showing various options and layouts. The final end user will certainly make changes to this. In the wheel well we have a couple compartments that each hold 3 air bottles. We make these compartments with oil dry dispensers, airbag slots, wheel chocks, and also extinguisher mounts. In all cases they're coated with a bed liner material. They have a proximity switch on them which will announce whether they're open or closed on to the driver's position. In the front officer side compartment we have our sloped poly 8-bottle air bottle rack. We have a vertical divider to allow adjustable shelving, and then we have like a real high capacity tool board. It's essentially a tool board mounted on a heavy duty rollout tray. You know, tool boards can become overloaded quite easily when you start putting struts and rescue jacks and that sort of thing, and lots of hand tools. And in this case that won't be an issue because this is like a 600-pound capacity. So I mentioned our tool tab product. It's just a name we came up with to describe tool boards that we developed with laser cut slots, and then we have a series of brackets that have friction fit type fingers on them. So like this is a pocket for an adapter, male to male or female to female style adapter, and it just has a couple tabs on it. And it drops into place. You can obviously see that we have a broom handle and a broom head. We have these bracketry developed for adapters, couplers, gated Ys, all sorts of hand tools. Essentially we just develop them as needs arise and as customers make requests. And everything rides beautifully in them and is very easy to just lift the item out of the bracket. In some cases we are using like a rubber restraint to hold tools against the board, but more importantly they're adjustable. We model them in with our 3D CAD system, so it works great for just kind of positioning everything out before we build it. Now finally, the officer side pump panel, it's laid out basically opposite of the driver's side, but in this case we have more accessibility because we don't have a gauge panel or controls. Nice large access door lending access to the Trident air primer system, many of the valves and plumbing within the pump compartment. Again, we have the speedlays behind the pump, and you can probably make out that there's several latches up on that front wall. That's because there's a large removable panel. And then we have a removable panel here, again providing further access. And then because we have the available space, the other side we have some componentry behind this area, but here we have an area where we could recess the panel, so this will work great to carry some rolled up supply line. You can tuck it into that cubby and keep it pre-connected. And then we have rollers protecting the door jambs from hose deployment. All of us at Custom Fire appreciate you watching our videos. We're very excited to get this demo in front of people. The response so far has been very positive. So if you're in the market for a pumper, tanker, or rescue truck, please give us a call. I'm Wayde Kirvida from Custom Fire. See you next time. All right. I'm Wayde Kirvida from... Am I looking at the camera or am I looking at you? Am I in the frame still? Okay. I'm still in the frame, right? Inside the chassis we have a 450 horse Cummins L9 chassis. All right. The officer side of this truck with the rear officer side compartment, you'll notice we have 3 tip-out pocket type. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. All of it custom. All of that edit. What is our email? Sales. Okay. Sales@CustomFire.com. that's enough.